How's everybody doing today? The stream has started pretty early. It's on the fly. You either get the stream or you don't get the stream. Got some really good news I'm going to share with you guys. Fantastic Four First Steps. The figures for the Thursday release is out. It's 24.4 million was made. That is higher than Superman, which did 22.5 million with previews before Thursday. So Fantastic Four is well on its way to a big box office weekend, as we suspected. Here's Variety talking about Fantastic Four First Steps makes 24.4 million in previews, beating Superman for the biggest of 2025. Marvel's Fantastic Four are taking big steps at the box office, earning a mighty 24.4 million in previews. The Haul is the best preview result of the year so far, beating the previous high of 22.5 million set by Superman earlier this month. The Fantastic Four First Steps, the latest entry in Marvel Cinematic Universe, is on track to make 100 million to 110 million in its opening weekend. It's going to be way higher than that because if Thursday was 24.4 million, it's definitely going to make higher than that. Though rival studios think it should soar even higher, yeah, it's going to soar way higher. The film starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Ibn Mos Barak is expected to add another 90 million to 100 million at the international box office for a worldwide debut between 190 million and 210 million. Now, I don't think these are extremely conservative numbers. If it did better in the previews than Superman 2025, it's most certainly will do better than Superman over this coming weekend, and it's fresh in the minds of people. So I expect it to do better than Superman's opening weekend, which was 200 and, if I'm not mistaken, 225 or 217, something like that. It's definitely going to do better than that. So what they're talking is hope and a prayer, and I think internationally it's going to do better than Superman as well. It is the second superhero movie this month, following Warner Brothers' Discovery and DC Studios' hit Superman, which has ruled over the box office for the past 2 weeks. They call it a hit, but it's not a hit. It hasn't even reached $500 million yet, so it's not a hit. If we're using Warner Brothers figures, it estimates 563 million to break even. Grace Randolph was saying it needs to make Man of Steel numbers, even if it's not adjusted for inflation, which would be 667 million. Otherwise, why the hell are you even rebooting? This is what she said. And she said the numbers need to really end up somewhere around the Batman. The actual number, I think, that would actually allow Superman to actually be considered break even, the real number, not Warner Brothers figures, is somewhere between 735 million and 814 million. Because this movie's budget was big. And even though they had they had sponsorship deals and things that cut into the budget to make back their money, it still will come down to somewhere around 700 and something to high 600 and something. And I don't see this movie making more than Man of Steel. And even the unadjusted Man of Steel for inflation, I don't even see it making, even Grace Randolph was being honest when she said maybe the low 500s, but she just doesn't see it. There's not enough money in, because it opened so low. It's very unlikely, because last weekend it made 70 something million internationally, and I think it made 100 and something million, right? So it's not going to make that amount of money this weekend. This weekend's going to make maybe half of that. So it's boiling down. This weekend it's not going to make, Fantastic Four is definitely going to cut into its earnings. So it's definitely winding down, and domestically particularly. It's been solid though. It's made a solid run. It's just it started too low. its opening box office was just too low. That's the problem. Man of Steel had better legs than it, obviously, and Man of Steel is going to make more than it, and it costs more to make than Man of Steel, even though the figures that the Warner Bros. Is giving you is like 225. I don't believe that shit. I know it's somewhere up in the vicinity of probably 300. That was the budget, and I think the advertising was at least 200. So somewhere around 735 million to somewhere around 814 million is really what it needs to make. So because of its inflated budget, like The Flash, it put more pressure on itself to make more money just to break even. So hey, there you go. The Fantastic Four First Steps has a price tag of more than 200 million and costs more than 100 million to market, so it'll need positive reviews and word of mouth to power its box office receipts. Remember, theaters keep half ticket sales. I don't know how Fantastic Four First Steps will pan out. I'm not going to see that movie. I'm not interested in it. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who are interested in it. And if word of mouth is good, I may end up reversing what I said and go and see it. And that's weird. For me to go see a Marvel movie instead of a DC movie. Last year I went and saw Deadpool and the Wolverine. Really enjoyed that. And who knows? Maybe when I go and see, maybe I go see Fantastic Four. You never know. Because it's nothing really good in terms of superhero movies out there right now. I'm not really hot up on Fantastic Four. I'm waiting for Avatar. That's what I'm waiting for. But anyway, I thought I'd share this with you guys. Shadow says, I'm a little shocked at how aggressive some of you are being against Superman re Fantastic Four. Can't you love one without trashing the other? And Release the Snyder Cut says, call it revenge, call it justice, call it karma, call it whatever you like. That movie franchise would never be allowed to succeed after what was done to BBS. And these are the sentiments under this post. Well, Snyder fans and Marvel fans are using Fantastic Four as an excuse to attack Superman. They don't really care about the Fantastic Four. They just want to use it as a weapon against something they dislike. Yes and no, I answer. There are DC fans who simply hate what James Gunn did with Superman, hence the international box office tanking. There's no way that there are so many Snyder fans. That's just people not liking the film. But yes, most Snyder fans do not want Superman to succeed. This is true. Remember the Superman fans tanking the Jurassic World RT scores? They're going to do the same for Fantastic Four First Steps. Fuck these clowns. Release the Snyder Cut said, Justice. IB Goo says, why do you call it trashing a movie if the movie itself is trash? Otto Free Palestine says, BVS in your dream, Alfred. I missed Marvel versus DC rivalry. Maybe we will finally start seeing good movies again. I've only seen one. Your planet is now marked for death, and I herald his beginning. I herald your end. All right, people. So that's basically it. There. I haven't mentioned the Palestinians for a reason, but I will. Remember when they said toys are selling out, so that means the movie will make $1 billion? Fake hype is all it was. Struggling to even make 500 million. James Gunn fans are the definition of shill. Meanwhile, Zack Snyder's Batmobile in both BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League is being auctioned. How do I say. They're fundraising so that these cars can actually be done by the man who makes porn and who now makes toys. And they almost paid off for everything. Man of Steel Jor-El did better than Superman's Didiel. The difference is that FF7 and Futurama were incredibly profitable. BVS, on the other hand, underperformed. It was expected to make $1 billion, it didn't. Warner Bros. Isn't bothering with Snyder because he didn't make them enough money. And Rocket says, makes zero sense when you look at the facts that the last 8 have all been flops. Define underperformed. So it's safe to say Gun Superman also underperformed, or does your logic not apply here? What about ism? Oh, look at you moving the goalpost. I thought you were talking about what makes a film profitable. Don't have it in you to make the same claim and be honest about Superman's poor performance, huh? No need for further explanation. Movies and games related said them. 670,874,000,000 is a flop. Also, same people. 400 million. This movie is breaking records. Stuntman Mike says the irony of gun fans using the monkey picture to criticize anyone, Snyder fan or not. Well, his valid criticisms of Superman is that they themselves will become the monkeys because they're spamming the picture. He had to die a hero. This isn't a criticism of the movie. What's this? Superman dropping just 4 showings a day at my theater. This Friday, Fantastic Four can have 14 showings per day. Batman Begins to Batman v Superman executives like Drake Silverman have been having sophisticated discussions with directors about philosophical approaches to these properties. Now they talk about saving squirrels. Look how far we've fallen. Superman test screenings revealed people didn't want to see Man of Steel saving a squirrel. So that's basically it for me, you guys. You guys have a great one.